Okay, so a couple of technical problems there to get started. I'm afraid Keith had a bit of a Wi-Fi issue, but I think he is in. Let me see. Keith, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. All right, fair enough. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm going to put up a video later on, Keith, about when things go wrong, all right? I did my show, Take Me Home, Colleen, right? I did a stage show down in Belmullet 2 years ago, and Edana, the narrator, the beautiful Edana Barrett, had done her job brilliantly to tell the story. And I picked up my guitar and I got stuck in there to sing my first, or the first line of the song. Which one was it? Nina, No Irish Need Apply. And I broke a string live on stage in a theatre full of people. So, what I've done with that video is I've actually kept it so that I can share it and show people, shit happens. And, when things go wrong, don't worry about it. We had a backup plan and we got through it. So anyway, Keith, listen, very good to have you on, and you're very welcome to the Writer's Block. No bother at all. I just hope that everybody can hear everything okay there. I'm on headphones. You aren't. Can you hear me?
I could plug these in. My daughter gave me a frozen headphones.
Yeah, let's just see what it sounds like.
I don't know if you can see Anna and Elsa there.
Yeah.
Hold on, see if that works.
Let's just see what sound quality is like. One, two, three. Right, say something there, bud.
Now, can you hear me loud and clear there?
I can, of course, yeah. Lovely. Okay, Grant. So, look, we're up and running. So when we're talking, put the headphones on, and then when you're playing a bit of music, you can pull them out. So I'm just looking at the comments firstly. This is something I like to do. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen, hopefully, Mary Ellen is in there. Hello, Brian. Hello, everybody. I'm not sure who Brian is. I'm Brendan. Maybe there's another Brian out there. We've got Catherine Rose saying hello to you there, and Maureen Gall from Scotland. Now, just one thing to be conscious of, Keith, is that we will have Scots in here now, and it's nice to say, with respect, our Celtic cousins. I was going to say our Celtic cousins. You're a bit of a Gael as well, so I know that you'll appreciate them. Marty Aggie is in here now. You can see him there. He's up in Andersonstown in Belfast. And Fiona Galt, who is a professional DJ, says this. My radio show is a weekly blooper show. So don't worry about it. Okay.
Fiona played me song now. I missed our show now, and fair play to Fiona now. You passed me on to her. And
that's right, yeah.
The song, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I was actually...
Catherine is over in... Catherine's over in the States. She's over in Oregon. So I think you remember...
I met her.
Happy birthday to her there. You did it all about.
Do you want to tell people what we did there last Sunday week?
Yeah, last Sunday it was Catherine Rose's birthday. Well, Catherine Rose's birthday was the week before, and just threw out an idea. We do a Zoom call and have a little birthday party on a Zoom call with a bunch of musicians and have the crack, Yeah. So we asked Brendan to pop in and play a song for Catherine, and fair play to Brendan. You popped in, you done that. She loved that. She did now. So
do you know, it was a new thing to me, to be honest. It was like a virtual birthday card. Or birthday party, maybe. Is that what we call it? So if there's anybody out there listening that ever wants anybody, well, me anyway, but for Keith, I'm sure you'd be up for too, to hop in and say happy birthday and sing a song or two on one of these like Zoom private meetings, give us a shout and we'll do it for free. It's all for free. Everything we do is for free. And yeah, I have to say I really enjoyed it because the people I was kind of performing to, I had never met any of them. So that was really cool. I'm just looking more comments before we get into the nitty gritty here. We've got Jackie Armour.
Brendan, I'll just let you read those comments because, as you know, my technical faults. Just 1 second.
you work away. Blooper show, Fiona. I'm laughing my head off. Pick having a good stuff, lads. We've got Michael Adams. We've got on Fake Dove, who was at that party. And Fiona says she's going to be playing Keith a bit more now on Wednesday. So good stuff. You're okay? No panic. No. I like to say when I'm doing my live stuff, Keith, like we're not on RTE or anything like that. We don't need to be worrying about it.
I just have to press that button.
Press that button. Okay, I'm not sure which button he's pressing. It could be on the microwave or something like that. But He'll be back to us in a second. So yeah, look at Keith is a guy that I've got to know online, I suppose, during lockdown. He started following some of my shows that I was doing. And on one night I was doing a different version of this writer's block. I was writing a song live, and Keith came in and started asking for a bit of advice on how do you approach a subject matter, or how do you come up with your ideas and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we just got talking after that. And really and truly, yeah, we're going to get into the acting now in a minute, Jackie, because it's a big part of what Keith is. Yeah, we just started kind of sharing messages and having the crack. And it turns out that through lockdowns and pandemics, you end up meeting the nicest people and the best people that you would never come across before that. So I'm really hoping that Keith hasn't frozen on us here. I don't think he has. Oh, my mother, she's in with her long, detailed text message there. Hi, Brendan. Are you back, Keith?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, see, okay.
What happened was I had the tablet set up and ready to go, and it wasn't working. So I hooked it up to the laptop and got the camera there, the laptop, and then the bleeding laptop went dead. So, there you go.
I'm going to write a song called Shit Happens, Keith, if you want to help me with the words of that.
The song's written like that anyway, so yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right, good stuff. So anyway, people that are watching in, I'll be going live here at about kind of 8:45-ish. Myself and Keith are going to shoot the breeze for a few minutes. So Keith, congratulations firstly on your debut single release that happened. It started last Friday, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us the name of the song and what it's about, please?
Yeah, the song is called For Years, and it was more like it was a collaboration with I met this guy on a group. He's from Denmark, called Michael Nielsen. Yeah. Well, Michael Nielsen, but yeah, Michael Nielsen. I'll keep that. But yeah, we kind of met. He's a multi-talented instrumentalist from Denmark, and I kind of just got talking to him and said, "Listen, would you be interested in doing like a couple of songs maybe and seeing what happens?" So I kind of just picked two songs that like I had there that I wasn't really putting out, but the two of us went, and like after hearing, like I remember playing the songs and saying, "Oh, they're all right," but when you hear him playing them and like the music that he put in and the quality of the instruments that you put into it, I just fell in love with the song all over again. Like it was amazing. So
when did you write that, Keith? How long ago did you write?
I wrote that. I'd say. See, what happened was I was putting out a single, an EP called "The Liberties."
Yeah.
Just before Christmas, and that fell through because I wanted to write it. Like I had a song written called "The Liberties." It's about like I found a picture of my nanny and granddad, and I kind of like wrote a song about this couple. And it was called "The Liberties" because that's where I'm from. My nanny and granddad were from. But I had a song on the EP called "For Years," and when I was doing the recording, I sent it to a friend of mine, Don Brain, and he said it's a bit slow, and like you already have the Liberties song, which is a bit slow. He goes, "You need something a bit more fast paced." Yeah. So I sat down and I rewrote the whole song, and in my mind was when I was a kid. I'd say about 9 or 10. I used to cycle around on my little bike, and I had this little Frawley's leather, fake leather jacket on.
Yeah, I
used to think I was dead. And there was this girl who was 4 or 5 years older than me, and I used to be like, "Do you want to lift on me bike? Do you want to lift on me bike?" And she used to laugh at me, and all the older boys and all be slagging me. So yeah, that's where the idea of the song came from, kind of like that, sort of like being in love with somebody that you can't have, that doesn't love you back, and that's kind of like 4 years, you know.
Well, I have to say it's a beautiful song, Keith, and I've listened to it over and over. Fiona on our show, I was listening back to it. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was Friday last that she played you, and she says she's going to play again next Wednesday. By the way, there was a comment there, which is really sweet of her. She's a great supporter of Irish music, and we all love her to bits for that. But she made a comment that Keith sings in an Irish accent. So what I would turn to that, and Fiona, I'm talking to you directly here. Keith actually sings in a Dublin accent, which is is more Irish than Irish can be. But what I like about Keith, the work that you're doing, you're not trying to be something else or someone else. You actually sing how you talk. Your diction, yeah. You know, if there's a word, if it's like over there and you say over there, you say there in your song. You won't try to make it, you know, like you come up with all these great artists that, like, I think it's Sting from The Police, who came from Newcastle, and he talked like that. And all of a sudden he's singing like he comes from the middle of London, like, you know, fuck that. So
let him away with it.
yeah, away with it, exactly. And you're bleeding right. That's what I really like about you, Keith. It's just what you are and what you sound like is what you're putting out in your music. It's very raw and it's very how will I put it? It's unmanipulated, unprogrammed. And I think that there's something there in that. I really do. I think like Damo, you know, Dempsey, he does a bit of that. Steel Wall, he'd be another one. You know where he's from when he's singing. Miles Gaffney down in Cork. You know he's from the north side of Cork, boy. Do you know?
I've tuned into Miles a few times now. Definitely.
Well, believe it or not, Miles is going to be on this next week on Thursday. I was just talking to him there about an hour ago. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that too. But yeah, come here. Would you fancy trying to give us an old verse or two of this song and let people know what we're talking about here?
Of 4 years.
Yeah.
I'll do a bit of 4 years for you. As I said, like the music that Michael put into it was amazing, but this is the natural place of where it came from. So this is 4 years. I'm gonna plug these earphones out and give it a go.
Yeah. No, do. That sounds pound. Jackie is there. Sorry about the echo. Never change who you are or how you talk, Keith. Amazing.
Cheers. Yeah, this is the original 4 years anyway. So as I said, like I only picked up a guitar about it was in August of 2019, and I kind of like building up strumming patterns, so I'm still developing. But this is where it came from anyway. Tell that you're undecided. My love for you, I just can't hide it. I don't know if you're going to see this true. We both like eyes on a cold December. I wonder if you still remember the very first thing that I said to you. Told you I was broken hearted. My love had recently departed, but I can't seem to take my eyes off you. You smiled and said the feeling's mutual. Is there a piece of you that loves still? Well, maybe we can see if this is true. Now I'm in love with you. Now I'm in love with you. For years I've tried to make you feel the same way that I do. No matter what I try, no matter what I try to do. For years I loved you and I tried to make you love me too. Oh, you don't smile like you did before, looking for reasons to walk out the door. And when you leave, you never let me leave with you. Tell me the truth, don't keep me on the line. Stop pretending everything is fine. Please let me know if there is something I can do. 'Cause I'm in love with you. 'Cause I'm in love with you. For years I I tried to make you feel the same way that I do. No matter what I tried, no matter what I try to do. For years I loved you and I tried to make you love me too. Oh, for years I tried to make you feel the same way that I do. Ooh. That's it. Little cut off at the end. Are you still there? It's all quiet.
Okay.
I thought I lost you.
You did lose me. I actually got frozen out there and I got kicked off the internet. I've actually rebooted my computer and got back in there in the time
That's
your
the
song
frozen
came.
earphones here.
Yeah, frozen is fucking right. It's blatant phrasing. So look at, I can see from the comments there, Kate, you're getting a great reaction to that. And I would
Oh, I
ask
can see comments
everybody,
there.
yeah, I would ask everybody who's on here and who will watch this later on. Keith, my traffic normally comes later on the day after or that night. A lot of people over in the States and all that, you know. So have you got a website or a band page or anything you'd like to
I do
publicize
have a
there, buddy?
website. The website is Keith Eastwood Music.
Yeah.
.com.
Okay,
And
good stuff.
mostly I do be on Facebook. I set up an Instagram. Now I don't like taking pictures, to be honest. I hate people taking pictures of me, and very rarely do I allow it, you know. So I set up a Instagram, and I kind of like I first set it up as a sort of a page that to sort of motivational page for myself, but then I turned it into a music page. So I'm on Instagram if you go over there as well.
I hope you don't mind me being too personal now, Keith, all right? And anything you don't want to answer, you don't answer. No problem at all. But you've said to me that you've come late to music, right? Which I did also. I only started playing my guitar when I was 25 or 26 years of age. And really, I only got into the serious writing and the big show creation after a bereavement that I had back a few years ago. My wife's sister-in-law, Helena, passed away very young, sadly. It's the story, you know, it's the truth. And that's really what got me kind of back engaged and trying to create stuff more so for myself, but then realizing that it was shareable. I have a feeling there's a bit of a story to you as well. Is there anything that really motivated you to get going with that guitar, mate?
Yeah. Well, it's a story that I'm not shy about talking about, to be honest.
Good.
And I'm very open about it. And especially on my Facebook, I try to be as open as possible because at the end of the day, it helped me. And if it can help other people, well, then that's the plan, you know.
Yeah.
I got into, I picked up a guitar because I suffered very bad with depression and anxiety. And what I'd done was I self-medicated with alcohol. And I became addicted to alcohol, and pretty much I was drinking every day of the week, and not drinking like just a couple of drinks. There was days where like I'd go 4 and 5 days out eating and just drinking non-stop. And it got to the point where it was so bad that I used to lock myself in the bathroom with drinks and just sit there all day. Now at the time I didn't have a phone, I wasn't on the internet or doing anything like that, you know. So it was just me, and I isolated myself away from everything.
Yeah.
And I started drinking.
How are you doing now, Keith?
Well, being honest, I'm not 100% out of the drink, but I'm not drinking nearly a fraction as what I was.
That's all right. Yeah.
But there was one night where I got really, really drunk and really stupid. I nearly done something permanent.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And the next morning, me brother, me wife, Carla, now she was always like trying to like, she was always on my side, and I love her to bits for that. But my brother came over one day and he bought a guitar, and he says, listen, I used to write poetry all the time. He says, listen, put the poems into songs. There's a guitar. Just do it. And my mother was there, so, and he goes, just do it. Like, something take your mind off, you know. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And I went onto YouTube, I got a few chords and just started playing, and I fell in love with it straight away.
Do you know something, Keith? I have to say, like, I've got a comment there on the screen at the moment from Catherine Rose. This is such a catchy song. I love it. Like, there's none of us Eric Clapton here, right? There's none of us in that kind of Mark Knopfler bracket. We're not going to be the best musicians in the world, and we're probably not going to be the best singers in the world. But to create a song and then to share it, which we're both doing now, it's a special thing. And when people hear the song, like the song you just sang for us, so lovely, you might I'll take a message from that song that, oh, I know where he was when he made that, which might be totally incorrect, but it doesn't matter, because that becomes the story of the song to that person. It's a very individual thing, very subjective thing. I'm just wondering, given that background, would your music be mostly happy music, mostly sad music? Is it somewhere in between, or is it just accidental? You know, do you have a style that you prefer?
No, I started off with I wrote a song, and it was called "Follow the Light," and it was started off where I wanted to write an album for mental health, and sort of like put an album out about mental health and raise awareness for mental health. And then kind of like I got to the point where I was on the guitar every day, and I got writing. I'd write love songs, I'd write songs about depression, songs about being too cold. And then a friend of mine who I worked with, I worked with him in a pub in town, and like, he's in his 60s, but two of us are like that, you know. He's a real father figure to me, but still friend. He brought me up the mountains on a walk, and he told me, listen, write about history, and I write about Irish history, and I try not to put myself into a bracket of what type of musician I am. I love writing, and you know what, the most joy I get out of it is actually the writing part. Putting the songs out was amazing.
I'm just asking though, I suppose, and that's perfect, I'm just wondering which emotion makes you most productive or literal. I know with me, it's when I'm reading history. Like, definitely, I'm a historical journalist. That's my music.
Yeah.
Is there a mood or a?
I think that's at the freezing there, Brandon. Brandon's gone again, so I'll have to keep you entertained. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks very much. And see, the comments are coming in. Brandon's frozen again, yeah. Thanks, Cud. Thanks very much. I'm getting to see the comments now, so I think he's nearly back in. Music is around. Thanks for that, Jackie. Some lovely comments there. Thanks very much. I suppose I'll keep us into. I might play a song while Brandon is just popped out for a while. So I'm gonna play a song that I wrote about mental health. So this is called "I Can't Face It on My Own Again." lost at sea with no way of breaking free. And the chains, they kept on dragging me down. The waves came over me and I couldn't even speak. When I tried, I couldn't open my mouth. And all the cracks began to show. Too hard to hide them as they grow. And I don't wanna feel the fear anymore, but I can't face it all again on my own. I can't face it all again on my own. I was hanging by a thread when I met you, and you sewed me back together with your soul. And as the days went by, another piece of me came loose. Couldn't help myself from feeling so low. And all the cracks began to show. Too hard to hide them as they grow. And I don't wanna feel the fear anymore, but I can't face it all again on my own. I can't face it all again on my own. You to know that I ain't gonna let go, but I don't wanna feel the fear anymore, but I can't face it all again on my own. I can't face it all again on my own. I can't face it all again on my own. Oh, there you are, Brendan.
I'm back. Keith, outstanding, right?
So I play a song while you were gone.
Yeah, you know the gig now. You know what? I'm after just putting 50 pence into the meter, so hopefully that'll get us to. Truthfully, what's going on here is that I'm in the outpost to the west of Ireland, down here on the northwest coast of Mayo, and if the Wi-Fi decides to drop, it doesn't just kind of trickle a bit. I mean, it just disappears into a fucking black hole. So I'm really sorry about that. But just so you know, I know there's a guy here that you were tuning in on last week. Kieran Warfield, son of the great Brian from the Wolves.
Yeah, he was there last week.
No pressure on you, but the great Kieran is watching you here now, and I think he's enjoying it. And ironically, at the start of the show last week, it was his computer that rebooted and died and all that. So
it's always going to go wrong because, like, I know I have my name as Keith Eastwood, but I'm actually Keith Murphy, so it's Murphy's Law.
Yeah, and that question has been asked twice. Once of me last week. Somebody said, "Make my day." I think it was Ivan Sweeney, referring to your Uncle Clint. And then Fiona in Scotland was also asked, which is he one of the Hollywood Eastwoods, I think.
Yeah. But that's where the name actually came from, was Clint Eastwood. I was always a huge fan of Clint Eastwood. And
I love it. Murphy's all right too now, in fairness. Look at the comment there from Marty Yagi. Amazing story, Keith. Keep writing and singing. Both songs are fantastic. And I can guarantee you, the likes of Marty, the likes of Jackie that's in there, Fiona, I see Jolie is in. There's lots of people here. These are people that will follow you now, and they will stay with you. They're a very loyal bunch, and the ones that come after will do that too. So always refer back to them and always mention people when you see their comments coming up.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, that's what it's about. Fiona just says, look, amazing. And Jolene, is that Lee? Yeah, great, heartfelt song. There is something about your voice, Kate. There's something about your voice. Like I say, the the rawness and the roughness of it. I just love that. You know, not trying to wallpaper over a cracky voice. I try to do the same, but I fall into that thing of once I was a country singer or someone singing through me knows. I do that and I make that mistake. You don't. So fair play to you, Buck.
Nice.
Come here. I want to ask you, I suppose we've got a couple of minutes left. We've got 5 or 6 minutes, given the drop time that I had there.
No problem.
So I grew up in the country, right? I'm literally a farmer boy. Well, not that we had any land because we had no money, but I grew up in a small village in Mayo. You grew up in the Liberties, right? Am I right? Yeah. So you were
big difference.
yeah. So Brendan Grace country, I think.
Yeah,
I think
that's it.
yeah. So can you talk to people here, especially the American and Scottish people that will be listening on later and the ones who are here now, the difference between the Liberties in Dublin City, you know, the image of Molly Malone, and the rest of Dublin? Because I know there is a cultural difference. Can you explain it for everybody?
Big culture. Like I'm not living in the Liberties now. I'm in as they would call in the States, suburbs.
Yeah.
No, it's inner city Dublin. The Liberties is, and the old city centre. This is years and years ago, like when the Rising was happening. The Rising would have happened mainly in the Liberties, and then the O'Connell Street is where it's well known. Like that's where the lads were. But where most of the Rising would have happened was around the Liberties, the old Jameson distillery and all, and
So it's the south side, right? Just so people know.
Yeah, the south side it is, and it's where all the tenements would have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
All the flats and the tenements, and I grew up in the flats there called Oliver Bond Flats, and all around there was just in my time now. It was a rough place for kids growing up.
Yeah, you're kind of what age are you? You're late 80s, early 90s, or
88 I was born. So it was early 90s.
So it was a tough place back then. I remember that. All right. Yeah,
this was when the vigilante movement started as well, and
the dad.
There was a huge drug problem in the flats, and heroin was a horrible drug. You'd find syringes all over the flats. As kids going around playing football, there'd be syringes there, and it wasn't a pleasant place. And then the vigilante movement kicked in during the 90s, and my father and loads of other fathers would have been part of that. Now, listen, I didn't agree with some of the stuff they did, but obviously it was all to protect kids.
They had to do something.
They had to do something, and that was it. So I would have been marching around with my father, like holding my hand, going around saying, "What was it? What do we want? Push us out and all." Like, and it wasn't like these weren't attacking the people that were taking it. Like, don't get me wrong, the people that were taking the wrong, but it was the dealers. It was the dealers that were living in these flats that were dealing out to them. These were the ones that these were after. And went.
I actually remember that coming prominently into the news because, like, obviously I'm from probably a more Republican background, albeit we're from the country. My father's South Armagh. And I do remember that the rhetoric in the press was very much that this was like a provisional movement backed by IRA/INLA, trying to a turf war. When in fact, it was mothers and fathers and uncles and grandfathers saying, "Get your dirty hands off my kid's throat, and if you don't, I will kill you."
That was exactly what it was. It was, and not even that. It was the fact that it was. I don't know how many times I played football around the flats, and there'd be syringes, bags of syringes, just thrown in the middle of the flats. And these, we're kids. Like, I was about 5-6 years of age, and there'd be syringes just lying there with blood in them and all. You wouldn't know what was in them.
It's so sad. Thank God it's a vision that I never had to grow up with. All I saw was today, tonight. Oh, the epidemic, heroin, boom. But I have other, I have a lot of great friends, and I'm hoping to include you in that list now. It's in Dublin City people. There's a lady there from Ballymun, born and bred, Lorraine Taylor, who would have grown up very close to the guys actually from Aslan. They would have been down the road from her, but she was in one of the 2-story houses down below the flats, and it was everywhere anyway. But she told me a story one night about, this is probably going back to the late 80s, early 90s. I think 3 kids were found dead. Within 30 or 40 hours. I'm talking late teenagers, and them parents and them people didn't have that resistance, and they didn't have the means or the will. But I'm awful grateful to your dad, to be honest with you, Keith, and to everybody else that said, "Fuck this! Now we're going to stop it." And no, it didn't.
That's exactly
it didn't.
what it was.
But it made it better, didn't it?
It did, yeah. But listen, it cleared off the stairways, because the stairways used to be horrible, and you'd have them all hanging around the stairways. It was like Return of the Living Dead on the stairways. It was, and it did. It got rid of them off the stairways. It made it safer for kids. Some of my friends lived on the second balconies, and I'd have to pass this going up the second balconies. My friends, when they're coming down, had to pass it coming down the stairs. It was dangerous. We didn't realise, because we were kids, how dangerous it was. And that's why the parents took the extreme measures to do it, because there was nobody else down it. And it's gotten really bad down there now. I still have family down in Olivermont. It's gotten bad still down there now. They're younger breed now. And
I know. They're actually they're more of a vicious breed too. It's not just knives, there's guns involved as well. Obviously, we know that. But and you wonder who's going to stand up to that. You just hope that something happens that.
It's getting to the stage now, Bran. You're afraid to leave the house because of the pandemic, and when the pandemic's over, you'll be afraid to leave the house because you don't know what's around the corner. With these young flits coming around, like that poor girl that got stabbed going home from work, I still can't get over that. And that's the dangers of Dublin nowadays as well. You don't know, it's riddled with homelessness, absolutely riddled with homelessness, and I try to do my best with soup run. I do a charity with the Liberty Soup Run, and I try to put me most into the own charity runs all the time. But listen, there's only the only people that can fix this problem are sitting in the Dáil at the moment.
Yeah, and it's well. Do you know what, Keith? What I will say to you here, and I agree with you totally. If the only way you can change the world is to actually start by doing something, and maybe your next song will be the next step towards opening a few eyes and saying this is wrong, and then you get 100 people to like it, and then you get 1,000 people, and then 10,000, and then we move it on. Do you know? Yeah. I'm involved with Colin King, as you know, up in Charity Radio in Walkinstown. And we're going to be doing something in a few weeks' time. We did the Drive for Life last year.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, I know you were part of it, and it was a lovely video you sent, sitting on your wall with your girls out in the garden. And we raised enough money to buy a couple of ventilators for Trócaire for sub-Saharan Africa. We talked about it a few weeks ago. We're going for part 2 this year because we're still in a mix. And we're going to support the Samaritans this year in Ireland, Kate, because we feel that unfortunately, where I'm living here, again, even yesterday, there was another announcement of a young man from my area found, younger than 40 kind of thing. And it's happening every day, everywhere. So we're going to help the Samaritans, and I'm hoping that you might come on board to one of these group videos where everybody sings a line. It's a bit of a band-aid. Yeah,
I'm there already.
Right. Well, you're invited and you're on the list now. And then when we do the live show to actually raise a few quid, you might get involved with that as well. Yeah. Do you know what's? It's an ironic thing because my romantic view of Dublin is Dublin in the rare old times.
Yeah. I know. I sing it all the time, and sometimes I sing it going, "If only you knew."
Yeah.
I know. Don't get me wrong. There's beautiful parts of Dublin, and that song was not written about the tenements, places, and that sort of stuff. That song was written about the actual beauty that's in Dublin, because there's a lot of actual beauty.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, if you're interested, Keith, as well, this is the writer's block, and I'm on here to talk about writing. The reason I'm doing this is trying to encourage people who watch, firstly, to get people like yourself out there and to be seen and heard, but also to just tell people that just from their own well-being point of view, you don't have to be Jane Austen or Charles Dickens to pick up a pen and paper and just write a few words that rhyme or don't rhyme that might become a poem or a song, right?
You don't. Just a lot of the times, just even when I'm doing it, Bren, most of the time I don't even write the song. I close my eyes. I probably play a little melody in the guitar, and sometimes I just make noises. Let noises come out and just words will come. And that's why most of my songs, like, I feel definitely come from within, because like whatever comes out of my mouth, I just blurt out, and then I sort of try to form it into a song. Then
Yeah.
eventually, but anybody can do it, and like it's an amazing thing to have, and to write a song and the feeling that you get after it is just an amazing feeling.
I've got a brother who is not musical at all. Now, he knows his music. God, he knows it better than me, but he doesn't play, right? He's not instrumental, Kieran. Uh, but that fella could write a poem about James Joyce's Ulysses that would be twice as long, and he'd have it bump, 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 line by line. It just pours out of him, you know? There is a bit of that in me too. I know that. But an excuse that one or two people might have made to me in the past when they'd be kind of compliment me on, oh, Jesus, great to write a song or whatever, and I'd say, give it a go. Oh, but I can't play music. Sure, I wouldn't be able to put the piano or the guitar to it. You don't have to. You just have it in your head and write it down, and somebody else will do that for you. So I'd encourage everybody here to write something, write 5 lines, write a limerick.
Well, what I did before, when like obviously when I first picked up the guitar and I couldn't play a chord and I was still learning, I had the guitar, and what I used to do was just like bang on it like a drum and just tap on it, and then make a song out just a little tapping, and then eventually when I learned the chord, I tap it and play the one chord that I knew, and then you're kind of just making little songs then, and then you're adding in a new chord and adding in something else the next time.
Yeah. And you don't have to do it all in one go, and that's the big thing. I've got a song that I'm working on now that I started writing in a small bedsit in Waterford City in 1997. I just found an old notebook with these words I'd written down, and I remember why I wrote them. It's a personal thing, but I'm going to get that out there. Just look at your comments there.
That's it.
Serena.
My eyesight is very bad. I love writing code. Yeah, it's Serena, yeah.
It releases a lot about how you feel. It's therapy. It is therapy, and I recommend everybody does that. Serena, thank you very much for all the shares that you're putting up there and all that. We really appreciate it.
Serena, and thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, and Kyle, of course, he loves that song, The Rare Old Times. I will be going live. I'm a bit over time, but I don't care because I'm enjoying this conversation. So I'm changing my start time for the live now for about 9:05. I'm going to keep talking for another couple of minutes to Keith. Do your friends call you Keitho? Or are you just Keith? Keith or Keitho?
No, I used to get called a few things.
You mean bollocks,
I got told I had an alien head.
What does that mean?
An alien head. Part of your head stuck out. Alien head. So they wouldn't call me alien head. They'd call me probe. So Ori probe.
I got you. You've got a new friend in America here. Yeah, Kelly Michelle. Excellent interview. Really eye-opening. I think Kelly's over near New York State as well. Kelly, will you come back to us and just confirm that? You are on the East Coast, I'm pretty sure. Keep writing and sharing. Kelly, why don't you write something and share it into the comments in the replay of this, and maybe we can come back and the next time me and Keith talk again, and we will, because I'm gonna get into hopefully a little bit of songwriting with Keith based on his experiences as that child, maybe through his father's eyes. That's the song that I've got in my head, where it's not vigilante, it's protection and love. You know, there's another version of that song. There's probably 3 or 4 versions of that song. So if that suits you sometime, Keith, we'll get into that.
100%.
So Keith, tell us about your kids.
My kids.
Yeah, I know you love them so much. I see your posts.
Listen, they're individuals, you know. So Emily, my eldest girl, she's more the soft touch, and then I have Hannah, who's the one that's hard as nails. So she's my little ginger ninja.
She's the little one, right?
She's the little ginger ninja, yeah. So I was delighted when I had a ginger child. I was like, oh, thank God I had a ginger child. You know?
I got one as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I got one as well, but his mammy claims that he's not redheaded. He's copper.
Oh no, ours is strawberry blonde as well. Yeah, there's obviously a different word for you know. So no. Listen, I always say to my daughter, there's people that pay for that colour hair.
They do. But
Yeah,
they do.
exactly. That's it. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, well, that's the two of them. Listen, they kill each other, but that's girls for you, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
know.
sure if there was two boys, they'd be killing each other as well. But they're mad. They're back to school now on the first.
You've got a date, have you? Confirmed?
Yeah, the first of March they're back to school. So
That's great. Okay,
so
good
it's
stuff.
great, and they're delighted now. Emily now, they were doing the homeschooling, so they had the tablets, and the teacher was on the tablets doing the schooling with them.
Yeah.
And it's not the same. You need to be in there with their friends and talking to their friends. And
You do. I'm just looking at School Days Over, huh? Do you remember that song, Luke Kelly? So Fiona's saying fabulous, you two. I think Fiona will be, if she liked you already, she's going to love you now. Caitlin Farrell, my daughter, she's in here. Hiya.
Oh, hello.
So my mother sends me big, long messages like, hiya, Brendan. And then my daughter, who I've not seen for 3 weeks, I get hiya. She's living up your neck of the woods as well now, Keith. So
she must be from Dublin. I think she definitely got Dublin in her, because my father is the same. Like, you wouldn't hear from my father in months, and then you'd ring him and he'd be like, "What's up? What have you been up to?" "Oh, not much." It's been 3 months. You have to been up to something.
Come here. Come here. We're going to get there now. Kelly has confirmed, New Jersey, upstate New York originally. I knew that.
So she's a Jets fan.
She's in around the Hudson. Well, she might be, or she might be like all them other bandwagoners, and she might go with the New England Patriots.
No. See, New Jersey are real true Jet fans, you know.
Come here. We've got something good here. Let's see if we've had an effect on people. Serena, I'm going to read this. A rose, the colour of pure sweet blood, that blooms in the sunlight sky. The heavens rich, rain helps it grow. The poison earth lets it to die. This rose gently sways with the gentle breeze that does blow a rose so pure. It's sadly no more. It's with her. Brilliant. Serena.
Beautiful, yeah. Beautiful. Very good.
If you've just written that off the cuff, brilliant. And if you've taken time to do it, all the better. That is excellent. Well done. Kate Lee, what's she saying? Not a bit of Dublin do I have in me. No, but we've got 6 All-Ireland runner-ups to show for our Dublin trouble. And she's also saying, I tried to break out of UCD for long enough. Caitlin went to UCD up there in Belfield for 4 years. So
very good.
She knows the south side. She actually lived over near your gaff, to be honest with you, Keith. Come here, Keith.
Back in the younger days, I would have spent a bit of time in the UCD. I never went to college, but I definitely went to a few college parties, that's for sure.
Well, so that's the only reason you go to college is to, meet the student girls, isn't it? I think
that's it. It's not to live off Coke and noodles.
No. And there's nothing wrong with Coke. And everybody who knows me, I'm a Coca-Cola man. That's where I work. Kyle Clark, Keith, I'm from upstate New York. Good man, Kyle. Kyle's a great out supporter. Kyle, you sent a question there earlier. Could you send him a friend or a follow? I'm going to recommend that you send both to Keith. And if you can't find them publicly, come through my friend list and you'll find them there. Please do. Kelly Michelle. Nah, got to go with the Jets over the Patriots. The Jets, I don't know. Jesus. The Bengals would probably beat the Jets. The Browns would take the Jets.
I'll have to show you who I support now. Because every time I see you now, you're holding your you have your Bears. You have the Falcons now.
Yeah.
But I always have this on my guitar. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, Cheesehead. Yeah. Cheesehead. Yeah, good man.
Cheese and beer.
Hey, come here. I'll go one better for you.
Go over that.
Here's my helmet.
Falcons.
No, it doesn't fit me. No, I've got a fair. I can't even do this now. There you go.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's class. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's brilliant.
So come here. Have you got one song left in the jukebox, Keith, for us before we head off?
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do a song. If Catherine Rose is still there, Catherine Rose done a cover of a song that I wrote. It's The Victim. I don't know if did you ever hear of the Tallahangans?
I have, yes, but I don't.
Yeah, I went up the mountains with my friend Tommy, and we found sort of like a stone with the names of the victims. Not the names of the three men. It was
the memorial.
Peter Carney and his 2 sons,
Yeah.
And in 1816, they were publicly hung up in Tallaght. We found the stone. So when I went back, I looked up about the incident, and I had to write a song about it. I thought it was an amazing story, and so I wrote a song called "The Victims of the Old Bond," and Catherine Rose done an amazing cover of it. So I'll finish up with the Victims of the Old Bond.
Okay, let's have that. So, Keith, fair play to you. And thanks for coming on to the Writer's Block tonight, Keith.
Thanks for having me, Bran.
You're an absolute gentleman, so yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening as well.
No, people love you, man. People love you.
So this is the Victims of the Old Bond. Grey skies rain and the fog grows thick and strong all along the banks up by the old pond. Kinland's missing, the land steward of the town disappeared without a trace to be found. The people start to whisper who the murderer could be. Two men and their father named Carney. Oh, Peter and your sons, you ain't got nowhere to run. You'll be publicly hung up by the old bond. No investigation, you'll be trialed on speculation. So take them to the gallows, their time has come. You could hear the three men cry from the gates of Kilmainham jail as a verdict by Judge Lundy hammers in the final nail. With no corpse to be found and no witness to stand up, there will be no prison sentence. Sure, he wants their blood. And as they pass by Bushy Park, they drop down to their knees and curse the evil devil who destroyed their family tree. Oh, Peter and your sons, you ain't got nowhere to run. You'll be publicly hung up by the old bond. No investigation, you'll be trialed on speculation. So take them to the gallows, their time has come. Thomas Gavin ties the nooses up with wicked pride as the ropes hang high above him, three side by side. The men walk up towards him, their fate is sealed as a Bonabreena breeze blows in across the field. A boy says, "Spare my father, you could take my life." Peter says, "You are a man now, you look after my wife." Oh, Peter and your sons, you ain't got nowhere to run. You'll be publicly hung up by the old bond. No investigation, you'll be trialed by speculation. So take them to the gallows, their time has come. Oh, grey skies rain and the fog grows thick and strong all along the banks up by the old bond. Kinland is missing, the land steward of the town disappeared without a trace to be found. But no more we hear those whispers who the murderer could be. Two men and their father named Carney. Oh, Peter and your songs, your memory still lives on. It is carved into a stone up on the mountain by your home. 3 innocent men whose lives came to an end. You're the victims of the hangings by the old barn. You are the victims of the hangings by the old barn. You are the victims of the hangings up by the old barn. Now, that's the old barn. Brendan frozen again. Every time I play a song, you freeze. I'll read the comments before he comes back in. Thanks, Jolene. And Jackie, thanks very much. Patrick, Galler, thank you. And Marty, thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. That was a nice interview, and it's good to get a lot of stuff off the chest and be able to play songs. Thanks for listening. I'll just wait for Brendan to pop in there, and then you can throw me away. So, there he is. Whoa. Close out the show. PC dead again. Brendan's PC is dead again. Listen, I do really appreciate everybody for listening to the interview, and I'd like to thank Brendan so much because he's given me so much support over the past year and so. So thanks very much for having me on, and I look forward to doing this again. Thank you. All the best. Now.